I remember when we left the hospital, it was really sad. Of course, it was really sad, but we also had incredible nurses. And so we wrote down all their names and we talked to them and hugged them, and I remember they snapped a picture of us as we were leaving. And sadly, we had brought a car seat. We had my mom bring a car seat because we were maybe going to be bringing him home. So we did have to walk out of the hospital with an empty car seat. But I just remember that when we got in the car, it was a beautiful morning. And the night before, it had been snowing. There was actually a storm, because I remember when my family and our families drove to the hospital, they were talking about how it had just started snowing. And it was pretty cold and bitter outside the night or the morning he passed. But the morning when we left the hospital, there was just this pretty view. I don't know if you remember, we were leaving the hospital. We turned right onto, was it State Street or
800 North or something?
800 North. And you're just going down the hill and you can see the lake and the mountains. And there was this beautiful sunrise. Or I don't know if it was a sunrise, but it was beautiful sunrise. And it almost just felt like a sign that he was okay. And it was like the most calm feeling. I was so sad, but it was just reassuring that he was okay and that he was, the most beautiful thing that had happened to us. And we were so grateful that we got to experience that. So that's what I remember from leaving the hospital.
I think that was the time that I felt the most support from my family, friend groups, church leaders that I had ever felt in my life. I mean, even from work, coworkers, executives, the owner of the company where I work at, the fact that we had flowers dropped off before we even got home. Every day there was a meal ready for us to eat. We never had to worry about cooking dinner because there was always dinner on our porch before 7. The president of the company that I work at brought a $500 Grubhub gift cards, DoorDash gift cards, so we never had to worry about breakfast and lunch. And so it was very reassuring to know that we had the support behind us, knowing that, this wasn't an easy time that we were going through, and if they could make our lives easier, obviously not having Ezekiel be a part of our family at that time, they were going to do any and everything they could in their power. And I feel like the visits from family members, the visits from coworkers, the visits from members in the ward was really helpful, because they might have not gone through what we had just gone through, but they were very supportive in the sense that they wanted to do whatever they could, and even just a meal was extremely helpful.
Yeah, I think going along with that, I remember the night that we came home, his family, his parents in particular, who are very much like to do their own thing. They were like, can we come over? And I remember my mom had made food, and we all sat around, we ate, we talked, we cried, we laughed. We probably were up till about 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little earlier. I don't remember. I just remember we spent so much time as a family, and it felt so surreal that we could even have these moments in such trying times, but we did. And I think that was kind of like the purpose of all this, it was kind of like Ezekiel brought us closer in a way and really taught us what mattered in life. And so we found joy in the pit of sorrow, and we found reasons to laugh. And I think that's really special when you're going through this. And I think it's hard sometimes when you don't have family and support, because it can get harder to find these moments of joy. But it's important to remember that there are moments of joy, and you're worthy of having them even after you've gone through something so hard like losing a child.
I would say, as far as, grieving fathers out there, it definitely is not our role to, understand what the woman, your wife, girlfriend, whoever it is, might be going through. But I think at times us as men like to think that we have everything in control, that we can do everything on our own, and that can be the case the majority of the time. But when you are going through something as difficult as this, I think you have to give yourself the opportunity to, one, be served by others, and two, let yourself feel. And obviously in our day and age, it's, not common for men to share their emotions, but at the same time, if you can, turn to your significant other and share your feelings with them, how this experience has affected you, and then, let those around you and your family and your community serve you and, be there for you during these difficult times. There is nothing more than having a strong support group to help you through these difficult times for you when you are going through something hard like this, because you never know when someone's going to need you in the future and need your past experiences and need you to be strong for them there. And so I appreciate all the, men, siblings, church leaders, male role models in my life that were there for me during this time, because it was not easy. And I appreciate the fact that you stepped up and, were able to help me during this difficult time as a father, as a son, and I'm grateful for the support. And, while everyone's experiences are different, I understand where you're coming from. Experiences like these are never simple, but just know that you have people watching over you. You have a support group. Lean on them during these difficult times, and know that it'll only be made easier as you rely on these other sources around you.
I want you to know that regardless of your situation specifically, what you decide, you are the only one that knows what's best for your child. So just know that as isolating as this may feel, you're not alone. And there are other mothers who have similar experiences to yours. And even though they're not going to be the same, because all of our journeys are different, there is help and there is support. And I know that sometimes it can be difficult to reach out, but as long as you follow someone that you might know went through something similar, or, choose to reach out to that one person in your community who went through something similar, I promise it will make you feel so much better. I think for me, that's something that really, really helped me, was feeling validated during such a hard time. It's not a diagnosis that you hear a lot about, but that's exactly why we want to make these videos, is to help you guys feel less lonely and less isolated, and know that, the journey is hard, but it really is worth it, and you're never alone. And there's lots of people out there who want to help and want to make you feel like you are well equipped and prepared for, your baby's diagnosis. And so I just want to remind you that you know what's best for your baby, and regardless of what decisions you make, it will all turn out for the best. And so just know that that's our hope for you, is that you can learn even a smidge from our experience and know that you can go through this. And even though it's the hardest thing you'll ever have to go through, you'll gain a special angel from it, and they'll change your life forever. Here we are a year later, and even though we still miss our son, we still don't have him with us, we are able to look back on all the miracles that his life really brought to us, all the tender mercies and all the things that we were able to learn throughout this last year are all thanks to him. And I know that it might seem like this is not something you can get through, and you might not even, want to get through this, because honestly, pregnancy and delivery, as hard as it is, but I promise you that you will look back on this and be so grateful for these moments. The moments where you knew he was safe in your belly, the moments where you knew he was safe in your arms. Regardless of what it is, just know that you'll look back on this and really, really appreciate it, and you will be able to find joy again, because, they will bring so much joy. Even though this was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, it also brought me a sense of joy that was inexplainable. And I would do it all over again, just so that I could say that, I have a sweet son who has taught me so much about life. And I just know that that's going to happen as well for you guys, and you will be so grateful for that life that's growing inside of you right now.